Hello, everybody. My name is Peyton, and the title for my presentation is A Guide to the Importance of Educating Youth. All right, so what I'm advocating in this presentation is tutoring and mentoring students, and I'm trying to say that it advocates to success. So, declining means to diminish in strength. That is what our students are facing as far as testing is involved, as explained in my last presentation. I'm an expert presentation, which is about me giving you knowledge about the percentage of how low our test scores are dropping from 2020 to 2023, and other information. Like I said, this is a claim I'm defending. To understand the values, you need to ask yourself, is this good, right, or just to care for the struggling youth? Put your feelings on the spectrum. If you agree with this cause, as I do, then we are at the same moral parameter. People that choose to become teachers or parents consciously have their moral code decided, which is why they become these advocates of education because they feel it is in their moral obligation to care for and nurture another human being. I support this because it's a building block of courage and accountability um, that'll be discovered by each child in each grade division. They get to learn aspects of success. The child must be directed and taught by a substantial tutor or mentor for this to work. Challenges will be tackled by both participants. It takes a strong individual to sustain the patience needed to correctly lead a student into the right direction. And I can say this as a person that partakes in this, it does take a very, very special person to work with youth. And that can be anywhere from like kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. I personally have never worked with high schoolers, so I'm not sure what that aspect is like because I'm sure it's very different than elementary school kids, and that's usually what I work with. And it it takes more than patience. It takes understanding. And you have to actually care for them. You have to care for their future. You have to care about their feelings, their emotions. They have good days, bad days, and you have to be willing to work with them on every single day, regardless of how you're feeling. Because at the end of the day, they still cling on to you no matter what. So you could be having a bad day, but you still have to show up. Um, um, this sorry, effort, time, work, and faith amongst both will guarantee the rise of numbers being detected in the grading system. And these are all just four components of why I support this idea that tutoring and mentor will advocate to the child's success. Um, in education, mentoring is the process of guiding with a strong sense of support, leading in a structured process. And tutoring is the expertise of a specific academic skill needed to be accomplished by an individual, in this case, students anywhere from, like I said, first grade to 12th graders. But obviously, tutoring does not stop there. It goes all the way up into college. Um, so for mentoring, mutual trust and admiration is built to bond influencer and influencee. Relationship building is a key to break down barriers in struggling students. This is why they feel secure, um, and they need to feel secure and vulnerable enough to be taught and equipped enough to apply the teachings actively in their works. The model needed to, and mentors are just the model needed to give hope so the future can seem very obtainable, which gives students a sense of purpose to continue this road. Because I know for me, when I was in high school, I never liked the idea of having a mentor. I didn't have anybody that I looked up to until I actually sat down, thought about my future, and then I started actually looking at these, not even models, but just people that I've seen struggle that usually prevail throughout their struggle. And that's what I see as a model. So I try to be that for my elementary school kids. Um, but it's just a working process. But I highly, highly advise mentors. And mentors, it can be anybody. It can be your teacher, it can be a principal, it could be an older sister, older brother, a grandfather. My granddad was a really big mentor for me. He taught me just about anything from riding a bike all the way to finance. So he's definitely a big mentor for me. Um, it could be, yeah, just anybody that you feel is just going to be the best example to help you build something for your future. Um, for tutoring, one-on-one tutoring is intimate enough that the sole focus is on one person needs rather than a class setting, which can be overstimulating for a variety of students. It provides the help and needs directly to the student, which is very important. And it also creates routines, and these routines will be practiced regularly. And this is going to help the students stimulate their brain cognitive functions, which helps students perform better. So if you keep their brains going every day, typically it is you're going to be able to see it in their work because they're going to be getting this knowledge if every day, every other day. And they're going to retain it a lot better when it's spoken to them multiple times. Here's some facts and evidence um, of why I advocate for this. It offers bringing benefits of intergenerational learning to school, which means that you get to learn from somebody a lot older than you that has had experience, or maybe going through the same thing as you, but they still have experience and are able to tell you about their experience. Um, Research has shown that both older adult and young people benefit from intergenerational relationships, which is why it's a good thing to have a mentor. These interactions promote mental and emotional wellness and a sense of purpose. Between kindergarten through 12th graders, and senior citizens homes can offer a host of benefit for students, teachers, and elders. There are endless opportunities for students in all subject areas. Setting up a mentoring program that encourages students um, was one of the key evidences of why mentoring is important. When adults from the community serve as mentors who reinforce high expectations, students gain another vital source of support, which is really important because if you give a child expectations, well, it depends on the child. Depends on the child, but usually expectations means that that person thinks very highly of you and they think that you can meet this requirement needed for whatever it may be, class or whatever it is. But if you have expectations for a child, it just means that you see them just in high regards, which is really important for a teacher and student relationship. Mentoring programs was not to replace parental involvement, but rather to strengthen it by providing another trusted adult who, along with millions of others, share high expectations for each student, like myself. Um, to accept my position on tutoring and mentors, this is just some more information to help you understand why this cause is very important. Um, Giving anybody space to create a means to flourish is the most important component in this conversation, which I am definitely advocating. Outcomes do not come with any work ethic or drive. We are creating this initiative for them by being these tutors and mentors, especially tutors, because without tutors, a lot of students would still be lacking in whatever subject it is. And for tutoring, I know for myself, I used to depend on face-to-face interactions because I have a lot of anxiety in classrooms. So if I didn't understand something or I was confused about something, I would be scared to raise my hand. And most of the times, teachers don't like to single out students. So a lot of people refrain from doing that. So if you sit there and nod and act like you know things, the teacher's going to assume that you know things. And that I was definitely that student that did that. I faked it till I make it, and I was struggling. And then I ended up having to have a tutor. And that class was in algebra. I was lacking a lot. And it helped me because we had face-to-face conversations. She saw me and I saw her. I felt comfortable enough to tell her, hey, I don't understand any of this. Can you please help me? And she did. And I felt safe. I felt safe enough to let her know that I don't know this. And I didn't feel like she thought that I was stupid or anything. I felt comfortable. Um, this is solely for the child, so they want to, wait, hold on, I'm sorry. This is solely for the child so they can want. This is solely for the child so they can want to as well as feel they can complete academic tasks. The lens taken to ensure victorious or advanced work will give the student and the teacher their desired outcomes. Some counter arguments that I thought of that might be thought of during this is some teachers may feel they do not have to parent a child or student. They feel like that's just not in their moral obligation to do that, that they solely feel like I'm just going to give them the lesson and they can do with it whatever they choose to, please. Um, and you cannot teach a child that does not want to be taught. I mean, I could understand this with a very stern um, teacher or mentor, or maybe somebody that has done this for a really, really, really long time and that just really, really knows people that maybe could feel like that. Intimate relationships with adults could lead to bigger uncomfortable issues. And what I mean by intimate, I don't mean like in a sexual sense. I meant just very individual to individual. Like I'm speaking to you, I'm seeing you, and I'm hearing you. It's a lot of instances where like uncomfortableness can come into play that I think might be issue, but I can definitely see how that could counteract with this entire ordeal. Some parents may feel like that's just so many things could take place with their child that they will not be aware of that I don't think they might like. But thank you. That is all for my presentation.